Sad. Smile shot. Perfect. Thank you, gentlemen. And lady.
Yeah, I know.
I just want to say.
The perception. You got a brilliant, charismatic, committed black man in the White House. That sends waves at the symbolic level, at the level of perception, and so forth. I think that goes without saying, very much so. At the same time, we were talking about issues of substance.
Right.
How is it going to be perceived? Will that be an occasion for denial of issues of substance? Because the symbols are very important. Now, symbols have a role, but you have symbols and substance at the same time. I think Brother Barack understands that, though. He understands that.
Will, years ago, it was I forgot the sociologist Walter, but the end of race, I think it was, you call it, he said, we to the end of race as we know it, the end of race.
Yeah.
Racism.
Do you think that's really the case? That Brother Clyde no, I mean, you don't have 244 years of white supremacist slavery and 90 years of white supremacist Jim and Jane Crow, and after 40 years, the end of racism. That just doesn't happen. You see, the important thing is we got a breakthrough, historically unprecedented moment. The question is, how do you use that in such a way that you move in a positive direction as a force for good? But anytime you're talking about patriarchy, you're talking about homophobia, you're talking about white supremacy, these are issues that require long-term perspective. These things don't end overnight. And that's part of what we were talking about in terms of making sure people don't fall into the pit of denial. But we do celebrate. We don't want to give the impression that, I know Brother Wilder was saying that we don't acknowledge the progress. Of course we acknowledge the progress. Absolutely. You mean Malcolm X used to say you don't stab a man in the back 9 inches, pull it out 6 inches, and just talk about progress.
Yeah, you
got to also deal with how much further we got to go. Same is true with patriarchy. Look at that magnificent critiques and pushing back a patriarchy that we have.
Yeah.
It's my own university, Princeton University, got Shirley Tillman, magnificent woman. Magnificent woman. Does that mean patriarchy is over? Hell no.
How can people find you online?
Oh yeah, I don't have a computer.
Okay, all right, cool.
How you doing?
I know you're in a hurry. How do you think, after Senator Obama's, after all this is over, how do you think the Clinton legacy will be affected with African Americans?
I think the Clinton legacy and its impact. How it's let me do it again. Here you go.
Sure.
We're going 3, 2. I think the effect that the Obama presidency or campaign is going to have on the Clinton legacy, in large measure, will be defined by how they behave, for lack of a better word, this week. And I fully expect they're going to embrace him, they're going to support him, they're going to do everything they can to make sure he gets elected. I fully expect that. Their legacy can't handle anything other than that. And they've been loyal Democrats for their entire lives. So I fully expect that, number one, that this week, all that's going to be put to bed, put to rest. And I think as the campaign moves between now and November, they're going to be very supportive of him getting elected. This is what the Democratic Party does. This has always been, to me, much ado about nothing. It happens every 4 years. And at a certain point, everybody comes together and they all do it for the party. So that's what I expect. Hey.